Scott Brumfield joining us for our weekly football conversation. All joking aside, taking away the first and fourth quarters, you guys actually had a pretty competitive game against Western Oregon in the second and third. So let's talk about the bad first and then go back to the good. 21-0, they get out to an early lead, then pile on with 35 at the end. Negative aside, let's get that out of the way.
You know, that it's huge. And we talk about anytime we're successful, and our goals each week is to get off to a good start. And especially in this conference, playing against the caliber teams we play off, it's crucial we execute offensively and play well on defense and get off to a good start, set the momentum for the game. And we obviously didn't do that up at Western Oregon. And you play against a very good team, they're going to capitalize early, and they did. They got the momentum. They had all the breaks go with them, which, you know, they came out with a lot of intensity, and we didn't match it. And you go on the road, especially against top caliber teams, not only do you have to deal with the travel, deal with the hardships of long bus rides, but then you got to get your intensity and rise and match their intensity. They came into the game very fired up with the revenge factor. We knew they would, and stressed them all week. We got to come out and match their intensity, and we didn't. And they took advantage of it, and we dug ourselves a hole that we couldn't get out of.
Tried your best to do so. Brought in Griff Robles for the second straight week in a backup role, and he had some very good drives through for 3 touchdowns. Was picked a couple of times later in the ball game. But Griff seems, after the past couple of weeks, to really be that mature influence to come in and settle down your offense.
He did. He came in and did a great job. You know, we really struggled in that first quarter. I don't think we had a first down in the first quarter, and he came in and really got us back to a comfortable position. You know, we cut it to within 10 points, had the momentum. The defensive came in and made a big stop, and we just kind of ran out of gas. And you know, it's just if there ever is good things out of a loss, is stuff that you can take from that and build on. I think this was a great learning experience for our guys. We haven't been in this position where we had a chance to be at the top of the conference, and you know, so you always try to take a positive out of negative, and I think this loss, you know, we can take a lot out of it and use it as a building block. And so if there ever is a good loss, you know, we learned a lot from this game, and hopefully we can carry that out through the last 4 games of the season.
Quick turnaround as once again you head on the road to Humboldt State, another taxing travel up towards Arcata, California. You mentioned some things that you could take out of the loss. What has been stressed so far in this early week of practice heading for that Humboldt State game?
You know, just intensity. With the long travel, you know, you get lackadaisical. We weren't sharp mentally, we weren't sharp physically. You know, learning how to travel the long bus rides. This was our first extremely long bus ride to Western Oregon. We have another extremely long one going into Humboldt State. They got to learn how to mentally prepare themselves, but also physically prepare themselves and get their mental attitude and the intensity up and ready to go for kickoff and execute.
Saw a posting on your guys' Facebook page this morning that the defense can't sling it, but the offense can lock it up. It's as much as you would like to prepare and make it all business, it sounds like you guys had a little bit of fun today.
Yeah, and that's the key of it. You know, in the games we've won, the Central Washingtons, the Western Oregons, big wins for our program, we had fun. And obviously Saturday wasn't fun, and the trip wasn't fun. The trip back was definitely not fun. And the trip to Humboldt's not going to be fun. So, you know, you get to a point in the season where you try to have some fun, and we did. You know, a lot of the offense and defense, you know, you listen on the bus, they're saying, well, we'd beat them if we were on offense and vice versa. So we gave them the shot today in a segment of practice, and so we put the defense on offense on defense, and some Skelly. And I think the stats, the defense was 1 of 12 with 7 interceptions. So we proved that. But it's all about having fun, and that's something we've really tried to stress this week with the hard travel. With the things that are fun, you got to make every bit as fun as you can, and that's the attitude we got to go into Humboldt. And in the last 4 games of the season, just go out and have fun and do what we can do and play with intensity and enjoy it and see where we can go.
Without giving too much of the game plan away, what are the major keys heading up to Arcata this weekend?
You know, offensively, we got to control the ball. We got to pick up first downs, something we didn't do against Western Oregon in the first quarter. Left our defense on the field way too much. You know, these top-tier GNAC teams, they're very powerful offensively, and you got to keep them off the field. You got to keep them out of rhythm. You got to keep them in check, and the best way to do it is keeping them off the field. And so our offense got to control the ball. Defense, we got to get back to basics again. It's just a glaring fact when we have our bad games. You look at the missed tackles, the misalignments, the missed assignments, and it's a telltale sign. I mean, I think we had close to 32 missed tackles against Western Oregon. So it just goes back to the basics on defense: alignments, assignments, and then tackling. And so just go from there.
Well, it kicks off at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 up at the picturesque Redwood Bowl in Humboldt State. Coach, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.